Import local function from a module housed in another directory with relative imports in Jupyter Notebook using Python 3. I have a directory structure similar to the following. When working in notebook.jpython, if I try to use a relative import to access a function in module.py with I get the following error. Is there any way to get this to work using relative imports? Note: the notebook server is instantiated at the level of the meta_project directory, so it should have access to the information in those files. Note also that at least as originally intended, project 1 wasn't thought of as a module and therefore does not have an _init_.py file, it was just meant as a file system directory. If the solution to the problem requires treating it as a module and including an _init_.py file, even a blank one, that is fine, but doing so is not enough to solve the problem. I share this directory between machines, and relative imports allow me to use the same code everywhere, and I often use notebooks for quick prototyping, so suggestions that involve hacking together absolute paths are unlikely to be helpful. Edit: this is unlike relative imports in Python 3, which talks about relative imports in Python 3 in general and, in particular, running a script from within a package directory. This has to do with working within a Jupyter Notebook trying to call a function in a local module in another directory which has both different general and particular aspects.
I had almost the same example as you in this notebook, where I wanted to illustrate the usage of an adjacent module's function in a dry manner. My solution was to tell Python of that additional module import path by adding a snippet like this one to the notebook. This allows you to import the desired function from the module hierarchy. Note that it is necessary to add empty_init_.py files to project 1/ and lib/folders if you don't have them already.
Came here searching for best practices in abstracting code to submodules when working in notebooks. I'm not sure that there's a best practice. I have been proposing this. A project hierarchy is such. And from 20170609 initial_database_connection.ipyn. This works because by default the Jupyter Notebook can parse the cd command. Note that this does not make use of Python notebook magic. It simply works without prepending %bash. Considering that 99 times out of 100 I am working in Docker using one of the project Jupyter Docker images, the following modification is idempotent.
All other answers here depends on adding code to the notebook. In my opinion, it is bad practice to hardcode a specific path into the notebook code, or otherwise depend on the location, since this makes it really hard to refactor your code later on. Instead, I would recommend you to add the root project folder to Python path when starting up your Jupyter Notebook server, either directly from the project folder like so. And Python path equals pwd Jupyter Notebook. Or if you were starting it up from somewhere else, use the absolute path like so. And Jupyter Notebook.
So far, the accepted answer has worked best for me. However, my concern has always been that there is a likely scenario where I might refactor the notebook's directory into subdirectories, requiring to change the module_path in every notebook. I decided to add a Python file within each notebook directory to import the required modules, thus having the following project structure. I added the file project_path.py in each notebook subdirectory, notebook/explore and notebook/explain. This file contains the code for relative imports from @metacommit. This way, I just need to do relative imports within the project_path.py file, and not in the notebooks. The notebooks files would then just need to import project_path before importing lib. For example in 0.0 notebook.append. The caveat here is that reversing the imports would not work. This does not work. Thus care must be taken during imports.